Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
6, getting down fresh out. You know, we do it over here. We bring you the raw, the real, and you tune into another edition of Prison Talk. So, someone pointed out that there was a big robbery that went down over Easter weekend, and the robbers got away with 30 million. 30 million. They hit a lick without setting off any alarms. They cleaned out the safe, and these guys, they were on some heat time. Check it out.
It's a record-breaking heist, $30 million in cash. The brazen thieves apparently gained entry by climbing into the roof hatch at Garda World, a private security firm that's a rival to Brinks.
One of the biggest cash heists in the city's history.
News photographers found this giant hole in the side of the building, now boarded up. But it's not clear if that's how the robbers escaped. The burglary unfolded on Easter Sunday morning at this Garda World money storage facility just outside Los Angeles. Armored trucks deliver large sums of cash here to store money for small and large businesses from around the region. Authorities are trying to figure out how the thieves broke into the building without triggering the security system. Could this be an inside job?
You know, the first thing I think any of us think when we hear a story like this is that had to be an inside job. Just think about the logistics of $30 million being able to move that much cash out undetected. That would take a lot of people working together extremely effectively.
This latest robbery is reminding people of the big rig robbery in 2022, when $100 million in jewelry was stolen while the Brinks truck was parked at a rest stop outside LA.
We had a lock on here. You had a lock on here, yep. And it's gone.
There have still been no arrests in that case. Now a new heist, one of the largest ever.
Information rules the world, and it's obvious that these robbers had to have some information on this location, on this Money Depot Center. And it was flawed, because who would have suspected that there would have been 30 million in a nondescript warehouse with a safe just sitting there in the middle of nowhere waiting to be hit. If you've seen Heat, you know that it takes a certain level of sophistication to put down a lick at this level. And the whole object, when someone's putting down a move like this, they're not trying to draw any attention. They're not trying to have any real shootouts. It's not, gonna be about a violent encounter with the law enforcement. They are looking to get in and out, nondescript, not raising any red flags, and to leave like the wind. And these guys left like the wind, cutting a hole in the wall, finding where the money was in the safe, and before they even knew what happened, they were out. Now, if you've seen, Goodfellas, when they hit the airport lick and they got away with all that money, they had to have somebody let them know that there was going to be a transport, and, you had to have some type of knowledge. And, those are always the biggest licks, because if you got to go in and take over a whole bank, or you got to take an armored car, it's way too much drama involved. Unless, you know, you're like the guys who hit that lick was a couple years ago where they hit the armored car driver. He was supposedly sleeping and they got away with all that jewelry. You know, you have to know what's there in order to make it worthwhile. Now in this lick right here, 30 million. So 30 million would have required probably 2 U-Haul trucks. The reason I say 2 U-Haul trucks is because I met a guy in prison. And prior to this lick right here, these guys had did one of the biggest licks in probably Los Angeles history. They got away with over 15 mil. And they did a movie about his story. I'm not gonna mention his name, but it was a warehouse depot that was a storage facility for cash. And the storage facility, they had security, but it wasn't nothing super, you know, over the top or something that was you know, what you would see in Mission Impossible, because the location didn't require for that, you know. And so these guys were able to put together a team of not even very sophisticated criminals. These guys were not seasoned bank robbers or you know, cat burglars. They were just regular guys who had got some information from somebody who worked somewhere, and they told them, hey man, this shit is wide open. And they concocted a plan. And man, their plan was, from what I understand, pretty straightforward. And I'm not gonna get into the details, but yeah, they put down a lick, and there was so much money that they had to leave money behind. That's how much money it was. There was so much money. They said that, you know, they left bags and they got away, and they would have got away had they been a little bit more low-key in their after actions, you know. Maybe leaving the country, leaving the city. These guys didn't really change their habits too much because they didn't want to draw attention, but at the same time they drew attention. Now, one of the first places that the police went and looked for these guys was any place where someone would go and dump money or start spending money, and you know, who normally didn't spend money there. The strip clubs. These dumbasses started going to a strip club, one in particular, and dropping money. And they didn't usually drop money like that because they didn't have the money to drop. That was one of their mistakes of many. Another mistake was they, from what I understand, got involved with some real estate and did some, you know, try to do some cash down deals, and they didn't really have the means to show where they got the cash down deals. So that was another one of the mistakes. Another mistake after that is when they went to try to purchase some luxury cars with cash, and purchase a luxury car with cash and not really being able to show where that cash came from. These are, you know, it didn't really raise the red flag so much at the dealership if you know the right people, but these are all places where, you know, red flags are kind of like, you know, where you go check to see, you know, where money's being spent at in relation to a major crime. Now, those are just some of the things they did that led to their demise. All of them got caught. The big thing was they rented a U-Haul truck to pick the money up, right? But the U-Haul truck somehow, some way had a broken tail light. Now that broken tail light or cracked tail light left, I guess, from what I understand, some pieces at the location of the lick. And so now it's a matter of matching those pieces to the taillight of the U-Haul truck. And I would imagine they found out it was a U-Haul truck because maybe there was a camera, the witness or something. So they would say, okay, there's a U-Haul truck. So, you know, the FBI, local law enforcement, they got all day long to crack this case. So all they do is just go through U-Hauls, been looking for trucks that were rented around that time and trying to match up the pieces of the tail light to a truck maybe in a lot that has a broken tail light. Well, they matched it up. And when they match it up, they go back and try to figure out who rented the truck around the time of the cracked tail light. Then they go and question the person who's on the rental agreement for the tail light. Then they go and just watch. And from there, it all unfolds. So whoever these guys are that pulled this $30 million lick, they better hope they didn't have no cracked tail lights or they didn't leave a dirty Kleenex behind. Because if they did, that little piece of evidence will lead back to these guys getting cracked. And on a case like this, I know some cases have statute of limitations. I don't know about a bank robbery, or this ain't even a bank robbery, just a lick of 30 million. I don't know. I don't know if they'll have a statute of limitation on this because of the magnitude of the amount of money that was stolen. But they better have a tight ship as far as, if they're doing something like this, they should have exits already. They're probably out of the country, different names, different looks. 30 million, they said there was, in the news thing, they said there was, 4 people. So, and maybe probably other couple people with, who helped them with this and that, because they cut through a wall. These dudes ain't stupid. So let's say 6 people, 30 million, five and some change each. So yeah, 5 mil, about 5 million each, give or take. They said 30 million, who knows? There might have been more. Give or take 5, 8 million, they're not going to tell you exact numbers in the news because they're still investigating. And they're saying it's 4 people. It could have been 3 people, maybe been 6 people. Who knows? They're not going to tell you exactly, but this is a major lick. Whoever did this had good intel, and, this is the age of technology. Information is all around to circulate. You just got to know how to pull it out the air, they say. So who knows what they pulled out the air, but they pulled a good lick as of right now. And yeah, I would imagine they're already out of the country if they're smart. They're letting floods of people in the country. They can go right up out the country. You know what I'm saying? They got, man, this shit, the border's wide open. It's just, I said it before and I'll say it again, man. California is a criminal utopia. Even these guys said it right here. They got special task force for these people, man. The robbery, these people coming over here, they're like, man, it's robbery central in California. It just goes to show, man, they were hitting these homes in these high-end places, and then they hit this lick. 30 million. They said the hell with the homes. They hitting 30 million. That's major bread. And, if you are, skating under the radar and not doing stupid shit, strip clubs and trying to buy exotic cars and, trying to buy one-off watches or, anything crazy purchases that will, kind of pop up on, anybody's investigation. You're not doing anything local. And these guys, like I said, they're gone in the wind. There's so much shit going on in the world right now, man. Shit. Timing is impeccable. Let me know what you guys think about the flick. If you think it's an inside job, if somebody inside gave them information, if you think that they'll get away with this, or you think they'll get caught, the level of sophistication on a range from 0 to 5, where you think the sophistication's at. I think it's at a level 5. It's some heat shit, man. This is heat right here. These guys, whoever pulled this off, are some next level gangsters. Big Herc 916 getting down fresh out. Share, subscribe.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.
Stop walking around with a crusty butt, smelly ball sack, and a funky hoo-ha. Big Herc said wash that ass. Pick you up a t-shirt at FreshOutSeries.com.